Signs you're eating too much sugar. Admittedly, a lot of us can say we have a soft spot for a sugary treat once in a while. But have you ever considered that you might be indulging in sugar too much? In today's video, we will share with you 11 signs you are eating way too much sugar. 1. You have intense cravings. Eating sugar makes you crave even more sugar. It makes you crave carbs too. If you find yourself in a position where you're constantly craving something sweet, you might be addicted to sugar. Some researchers claim that sugar can have the same effects on the brain as any other addictions out there. Did you know that when you eat or drink something that has sugar, your brain releases dopamine, which makes your body feel good? If you eat too much sugar on a regular basis, your brain will become less sensitive to sugar, which means that your body will need more and more sugar for you to feel a sugar high. Samantha Cassidy, MSRD, a New York City-based registered dietitian nutritionist and co-author of Sugar Shock, The Hidden Sugar in Your Food, says that the problem is that over time, you may need more sugar to experience that pleasurable feeling, the same way that you build a tolerance to alcohol and need to drink more to feel buzzed. This can create a vicious cycle that hooks you on sweets and makes you feel like you're addicted to sugar. 2. You feel groggy throughout the day. We've all heard of a sugar rush before, and although sugar might boost your energy levels at first and give you a sugar high, it won't last very long. The aftermath of a sugar high will leave you feeling groggy and sluggish all day long. Consuming too many sugary foods also means that you aren't getting enough fiber and protein, which are both essential nutrients to sustain energy. Surprisingly, a sugar high doesn't necessarily have to originate from sweets and candy. Your lunch or breakfast could contain hidden amounts of sugar that will leave you crashing in no time. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich on white bread, for example, is packed with added sugars that could set you back for the rest of the day. 3. You've been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Your blood pressure is considered normal if it's 120/80 or lower. A diet high in sugar can elevate your blood pressure over this threshold, according to a study in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology. In a 2014 research review published in the BMJ Journal of Open Heart, medical experts argued that limiting people's sugar intake is more important than reducing sodium consumption when it comes to healthy blood pressure. Salt has a bad rep for increasing blood pressure, but it's only second to sugar, and it doesn't take long to affect. Blood pressure can increase after only a few weeks on a high-sugar diet. The author of the review wrote that added sugars probably matter more than dietary sodium for hypertension, and particularly fructose, which may uniquely increase cardiovascular risk by inciting metabolic dysfunction. Another study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that the risk of developing hypertension increased by 8% for every sugar-sweetened beverage. 4. Your jeans fit a little too snugly. If you've been depending on soda and other sugary drinks to push through a tough work deadline, the scale probably reads a little higher than you'd like. According to a review of studies in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, sugar-sweetened beverages seem to uniquely lead to weight gain, owing to a killer combination of high sugar, low satiety, and incomplete compensation for total energy, as they don't displace other foods, so they add to your total calorie intake. It also triggers the release of insulin, a hormone that plays a huge role in weight gain and diabetes. When we take sugar, the pancreas releases insulin, which carries sugar to our organs, so that it can be used for energy. When you eat too much sugar, your body is being told to produce more insulin over time, and these excessive releases can result in insulin resistance. This means that the body can't respond to regular amounts of insulin properly, and therefore can't use the sugar correctly. The preliminary weight gain from simply eating too many calories from sugar is being compounded by the disruption of your normal insulin response, meaning there's a connection between insulin resistance and obesity. Moreover, when the pancreas works overtime for a long time, you can easily develop type 2 diabetes. Try to avoid sugar-sweetened drinks and stick with water, milk, tea, and coffee. 5. You experience mood swings pretty often. If eating sugar has ever left you in a mood that's less than stellar, there's an explanation for that. Brooke Alpert, MSRD-CDN, the founder of Be Nutritious and a member of the American Dietetic Association, says that blood sugar crash happens when you're coming off a sugar high, which can cause mood swings and have you feeling crabby. Not to mention if your energy is also tanking, that just contributes to a bad attitude. It's important to note that high sugar intake can lead to a higher risk of feeling depressed, since sugar can raise levels of inflammation throughout the body, according to Prevention.com. A 2015 study, published by the JAMA Network, found that clinically depressed patients had brain inflammation levels that were higher by 30%. 6. You've got a few calories. There's a reason why your parents constantly told you to lay off the candy as a kid. Not necessarily because they didn't want to deal with your sugar high, but because they knew that sugar would lead to some not-so-fun trips to the dentist's office. Sugar itself isn't the sole culprit of cavities. The bacteria in the mouth feed on the bits left behind on the teeth, whether from sugary foods or healthy foods like whole grains and veggies. The acid produced by these bacteria combines with saliva to create plaque. If not brushed away regularly, plaque builds up and erodes both enamel, creating tiny holes on the tooth surface, which is the first stage of cavity formation. So while sugar isn't solely responsible for cavities, it doesn't help. Drinks with lots of sugar, such as soda, contain citric and phosphoric acids, which erode the tooth enamel. Some sugary foods like caramel, hard candy, raisins, and cereal can also get stuck in between teeth, leading to decay. 7. You're having skin issues. Consuming too much sugar can prevent you from having a smooth complexion. There's extensive evidence showing high sugar diets contribute to acne and may exacerbate flares, says Dr. Anna Chacon, a board-certified dermatologist at Cleveland Clinic, Florida, in Weston, an advisory board member for Smart Style Today. The impact remains unclear, however, and more studies are needed. Other studies suggest sugar may make the skin appear wrinkly or saggy. Collagen, a protein that provides structure to the skin, keeps the skin youthful and supple. Sugar and glucose can produce advanced glycation, which means a weakening of collagen, which makes the skin appear looser. Some people are sensitive to getting a spike in insulin from sugar intake, which can set off a hormonal cascade that can lead to breakouts like acne or rosacea, says Rebecca Kazin, MD, of the Washington Institute of Dermatologic Laser Surgery and the Johns Hopkins Department of Dermatology. Binging on sugar can show up on your face within a few days. Kazin recommends that if your skin is wrinkly, you should reassess your diet, or chances are you may be treating skin for other issues, without knowing what's really going on underneath the surface. 8. You're having trouble sleeping. Sleeping is crucial for promoting recovery, crushing your workouts, and helping with weight loss. However, studies show that diets high in refined sugar are connected to poor quality sleep. The study showed someone having high sugar intake in the evening had trouble falling asleep and did not seem to get the most physically restorative sleep, says clinical psychologist Michael Breus, PhD, a diplomate of the American Board of Sleep Medicine and a fellow of the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. Eating sugary foods late at night could lead to a rush in energy at a time when we should be focusing on slowing down and prepping the body to rest. Serotonin is largely produced in the gut and is key for melatonin production, which is necessary to enable a good night's sleep. It might help to reduce the sugar in your diet if you have trouble sleeping and be kinder to your gut. Restless sleep caused by sugar consumption can subsequently be part of a vicious cycle. Poor sleep may cause your hunger hormone to spike and your satiety hormone, leptin, to drop, prompting you to take more sugar when you're tired. Over time, little sleep could result in weight gain. 9. Nothing tastes as sweet as it used to. Eating too much sugar basically bombards your taste buds, and this sugar overkill causes your taste bud sugar tolerance to escalate, so you need more and more sugar to satisfy your cravings. It can be tough to lower your base level when your taste buds need lots of sugar to feel like something is sweet enough. However, if you cut back and endure it in the beginning, you'll eventually lower your tolerance again and be happy with minimal sugar. You might even begin to feel like certain things are too sweet for you and content taking sugar in moderation. 10. Bloating. Foods that are hard to digest can cause bloating and gassiness. Artificial sweetness, such as sorbitol, aren't absorbed in the small intestines, so they end up in the colon, where they're worked on by bacteria, and the result is gas. According to the International Foundation for Gastrointestinal Disorders, most foods that contain carbohydrates can cause gas, and sugar is all carbohydrates. There are some specific sugars, however, that cause more gas than others. Some people, for example, find it hard to digest fructose. It's a simple sugar found naturally in fruit and honey, and it's added to many processed foods. The liver has to convert the fructose to glucose so that it can be used as a source of energy for the body's cells. But many people find it hard to absorb all the fructose they digest, which can cause gas and digestive discomfort. 11. Brain fog. Do you feel like your mind is all mushy, especially in the afternoon or after a huge meal? Brain fog is generally an umbrella term for a whole host of symptoms, such as forgetfulness and lack of clarity or focus. Too much blood sugar can increase serotonin and neurotransmitters in the brain. These chemicals normally have a positive effect on nerve cells and brain function. Yet too much serotonin and increased neurotransmitters can have the opposite effect. This can lead to brain cell damage, nerve damage, and inflammation in the brain, which all contribute to cognitive problems like memory loss and brain fog. Low blood sugar, or hypoglycemia on the other hand, can have a similar effect on the brain, causing fatigue, headaches, and brain fog. When the body doesn't receive enough sugar or glucose for energy, brain cells can't function properly. This can make it difficult to concentrate. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found some value in it. If you did, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, and consider subscribing for more content like this. With that said, have a fantastic day, you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.